I've been fishing my whole life. I've really been fishing the Chagrin for about 10 years. Got a fly rod at about age 21, and from there I've been trying to fish it as much as possible. My typical day on the river will start with about as dark a coffee as I can possibly find, get into the waders at the truck, pick some kind of a fly box to come out that I think is going to work, and just get after it. Fishing is very special to me. It's something that led me to my career in conservation. It's a way for me to get out and remind myself why I do this work. I can look around right now in a 360-degree angle and see nothing but the Chagrin River and some of these beautiful properties. So that's a cool thing about the Chagrin.
A watershed is the land area that drains to a common water body, such as a river or a lake. In the case of the Chagrin River, we drain 267 square miles, and that water all ends up in Lake Erie.
Having healthy streams and rivers for people to come out and enjoy, having that healthy forest cover along those streams and rivers is so critical to maintaining the health of those streams and rivers. We have to try to be as wary of preserving that as we possibly can. The Chagrin River watershed is really unique in that it's home to more cold water habitat designated streams than any other watershed in the state of Ohio. They provide a unique habitat for cold water loving plants and animals. One of the things that we can do is recharge that groundwater by promoting infiltrative stormwater practices, by preserving open spaces that allow the water to soak in back down to the ground to recharge those aquifers and then flow back into the streams from the ground.
Forests are critical to the health of streams and aquatic ecosystems. They all play an important role in slowing down precipitation and the impacts of precipitation and slowly letting rainfall infiltrate down into the soils. They shade streams an awful lot, which is really important for keeping the water temperatures cool. Much of the Chagrin River runs through steep ravines that are shaded with hemlocks and have very high exceptional water quality designated by the Ohio EPA.
It's a fantastic watershed. It's a high quality, beautiful hemlock hardwood ravine dominated system. That freshwater habitat is critical.
So one of the key features of having a healthy watershed and a healthy Chagrin River are having these forested floodplains and forests that are nearby and within the riparian area of those rivers and streams. And what that does is it helps to capture rainwater and runoff. It helps to secure banks.
Two of our most common trees along this stream here are eastern hemlock and American beech. We have some hemlocks along this gorge that are probably 200 to 300 years old. You lose them, you're probably never going to replace them. You know, once you start losing trees, you might get invasive species increasing, and as that happens, a lot of the birds and insects that use this area are going to disappear.
Quite often, invasive species do a lot of ecological damage. They alter food webs, they compete with other native wildlife and plants for habitat.
We're seeing changes in our forest systems right now. With climate change, we're seeing heavier precipitation in the winter and the spring. We're seeing drier summers, which changes the moisture regimes of the soil.
We're going to definitely increase changes in weather patterns. We're going to have an increase in extreme events. There's different levels of impact on different forested communities, and so it's going to be important to identify those areas or refugia that are important for maintaining the conservation of some of our critical species.
That's why we have a lot of trees that have different disease problems, is they're stressed.
Understanding those forest stressors are important, and being proactive about identifying those stressors and trying to do as best we can to minimize their long-term impacts so that future generations can enjoy the Chagrin River watershed.
Chagrin River Watershed Partners is a leader in Northeast Ohio, and we are able to work with communities, we're able to work with individuals, other watershed organizations, and this has really had a tremendous impact on our watershed.
Managing watersheds is an important cooperative effort that you need to quite oftentimes work with lots of other organizations regionally.
They were formed over 20 years ago by 16 communities and park districts that drain to the Chagrin River to help get together and solve flooding and erosion-based concerns in a watershed-based manner. We have many dedicated people working very hard to maintain, preserve, and protect to assure a sustainable future for the people, plants, and animals of the Chagrin watershed. I feel like that passion extends throughout Northeast Ohio, and I think that this area is very unique in that respect, in that we have so many people working so hard to affect a good future for all of us.
We have a lot of really great energy in terms of conserving what we have, restoring what has been impaired, and working together to solve issues collectively. And that mindset is really important for addressing current problems and also preventing future problems from occurring.
I love taking people out to the river because I don't have to say anything about it. I get them out here, they fish, they wade, they kayak, and without having a conversation, they automatically love it. And once people love something, they tend to take care of it. I think the major threat to our forested landscape is the lack of knowledge about how important it is.
Our watershed really starts in our own backyards.
I think the biggest thing is to look at, when we're building, to keep setbacks along some of these stream corridors to help protect them, keep them wooded.
Number one you can do is cut down on the amount of mowing that you do. You actually want vegetation to grow up along streams. It helps with the stability of the stream and the banks, helps lessen the chances of erosion. Encourage everyone to start thinking about planting more native wildflowers, native plants. Use native plants and shrubs and trees in your own landscaping.
It's also benefiting everyone downstream, so it's a public health issue as well. We have people and kids who are wading and playing in the river, and so when I'm out here, I try and keep in mind that if there's something that I do, it's going to impact others in some way.
When you recognize that what you do in your own backyard has a connection to the healthy streams like we see behind us, then you're more mindful about the way you manage your landscape.
I'm very hopeful for the future of this area. I know that there are countless organizations throughout Northeast Ohio that are working on similar conservation work that I work on and that Chagrin River Watershed Partners works on. There's going to be development in places, there's going to be conservation in places, but we have to balance all of that with the knowledge that forests are incredibly important to our rivers and to our watersheds.
The best way to learn about your local watershed is to get out and to explore. Find out where are your favorite places. Everyone has a favorite park or a place along the river where you can go for a hike, go for a walk, check out the birds in the area. Maybe as simple as sitting next to Lake Erie and enjoying a sunset. It could be getting up early in the morning and going fishing on the river, finding a way to connect to your natural areas and being able to share that with others.